It is now 6:28. The tornado plunged tens of thousands of people into darkness, and Western Massachusetts Electric Company spokeswoman Sandra Ahern joins us now live on the phone. Sandra, thanks very much for joining us. About 14,000 people now still without power. It was a lot worse yesterday when all this happened. Tell us about that. What's your worst trouble spot right now?
Well, the worst and the most heavily damaged area is in the 16 acres and East Forest Park areas. We have about 14,000 customers without service in the Springfield area. That's down from about 17,000 at the peak. But these areas, as Matt mentioned a little earlier, many of the roads are impassable. And overnight, the crews were in what we call cut, clean, and make safe mode, where they're trying to de-energize wires, get the debris out of the way so the crews can get in and start to, really, this is going to be a rebuilding effort rather than a restoration effort.
Yeah, it's so devastating with all the trees that have knocked down power lines. There's a lot of work to be done. I'm always amazed at how quickly WMECO can get power back to people. What is the estimate right now of that, and these people that are without power right now? What can they expect in the next few hours or maybe the next coming days?
Well, I think in these two areas that I mentioned, 16 acres and East Forest Park, it's going to be a multiple day outage. There's just such severe damage. Like I said, we're not in the restoration mode, we're in the rebuilding mode. Just to give you an example, we've got over 80 poles, 100 cross arms that are broken and have to be replaced. As I mentioned before, the roads are barely passable, so we've got to get that, get equipment in there and then begin the rebuilding process. They have worked through the night and will continue to be on scene. We estimate by midday we'll have more than 100 crews at work in these areas. I'd also like to stress, and you guys have been great in broadcasting the safety message, stay away from any downed tree. It may have a wire in it, and you have to assume that any downed wire is a live wire, and you need to stay back at least 10 feet.
Good information to pass along. Stay away from down lines. Let the experts do the work and try to stay off the roads as much as possible so that power can be restored as soon as it can. Sandra Ahern from Western Massachusetts Electric Company, thanks very much for joining us on a very busy morning. We'll get an update from you, I'm sure, a little later on today. Thanks very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.